Wow. Do I have an interesting one for you guys today? Welcome to this week's product review and install. That's one. Ready for this? What is that, right? You know, sometimes there's interesting stuff, sometimes there's, efficient stuff like a phone holder and stuff, and then there's this. And I don't know what category this falls under. Probably fun and entertainment. Okay. There she is, boys and girls. The Gyrosphere. Okay, it's not the Gyrosphere, it's the Glyosphere. What even is a Gyrosphere? I correct it later on. This baby is a sound system that goes inside of your frunk, but not a sound system like you're thinking. This isn't for playing music just outside. This little baby right here makes your car sound like, well, anything. So inside of the box, what you have here is obviously the big Gyrosphere speaker system. You've got this power source, this battery, a USB-C cable, you've got this little fob, a big cord that connects from the speaker to your phone, which will be in the car, and I'm assuming this is a power cord of sorts, and a whole bunch of Velcro. So the idea here is this connects to your phone, and it lets it know when you're moving and everything, so as you accelerate faster, the noise changes, and as you slow down, it changes, and as you're idling, it changes. And there's a whole library online of different choices and envelopes you can make and put together. You can create noises and all that stuff, and this thing can then make your car sound like that, which we're gonna have some fun with. So as I'm looking at this box here, I think I'm actually saying this wrong. It's not Gyrosphere, it's Glyosphere. Also a couple other things. This is a battery pack. So this is not plugged in or wired into the car at all, which is actually kind of refreshing. Most of my installs involve me tearing apart my car and all that, as you guys have seen. But this has a battery source you can take out of your car. It charges via USB-C and then it plugs into the actual pack, the speaker system inside of the car elsewhere. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of a convenient feature if you don't want to dig into your car and connect to the power source of your car, which is actually pretty nice because I don't need to drain my battery any more than I already do. Also, in this, I'm not sure how I feel about. I have to really get in to really use all this before I actually decide if I care or not. But this actually is a subscription service to get access to their app. And you can see there that it is $3.99 per month or $30 a year to have access to their app. Now, what I don't know yet is if you can connect it to your phone and just play anything through the speaker. We're gonna test all that out. Or if you have to use their app or what the app really offers, we'll dive into that a little bit and check it out. So now the setup of this thing is actually quite simple. All I have to do here is take this cord right here, this white one. This is a micro USB cord connected to the battery, plug it into the first of these two different ports here. Then the DC port here on the battery, all you have to do is plug that into the power port, the DC in right here on this other side, which I believe is an amp. Then this really long flat cord they give you, which is also micro USB, plugs into the other little USB port down here, and then that would then run to your phone. Because I'm really curious about this, what I'm gonna do is I just plugged it straight here into my computer, and we're gonna just see if it just plays regular music. Because if that's the case, then we can basically play anything out of the front speaker while it's connected inside of the car. And what makes it really work well in terms of driving while you're using it is when you have the app, it's gonna use the movement of your car to make the car sound like it's moving or not. Otherwise, it's basically just a speaker. So what I've got is hooked up right here. I'm gonna power it on, and this is where I get demonetized. So it does play basically any kind of music. So basically you hook your phone up to it via a wire. It's not Bluetooth connection, at least I haven't seen anything about that. But once it's connected, then it will basically play anything your phone sends to it, or computer in this case. Now this was one of my more easier installs, of course. I mean, this isn't even an install, it's more of a place in your frunkness. Now I do have a liner in here I'm gonna keep in there, and they do give you a bunch of Velcro you can actually take and stick this thing so nothing moves around. But for now, I'm just gonna place it in here to show you how simple this is. So I more or less just set it in here. I then took the battery and just set it right here alongside of it. And then this long, really flat cord that they give you that connects to your phone, what I did is I ran it up into the car. Now, being as how the cord right there is actually super flat and super thin, it makes it very easy to get it into the car. So what I did here, I left a little bit of slack so as it shuts, it can still move the cord around. But I just tucked it in alongside here, all the way through here. You can see I ran it right along here, tucked it right inside of there. And then in here, I actually was able to put it right down through here and then out the seal right here. So there's no, it's not being stuck in the door, and there's no chances of it being pinched. That's what I was mostly worried about. Then I just have it kind of looped right here where it's actually gonna stay. So let's get it powered on, take the big old battery. And the great thing about this battery too, you just take it out of your car, go charge it, bring it back. Again, none of this draws on the battery itself of the car. So press the power button twice and hold for 3 seconds to power on the battery, then turn on the power button. All right, we're in my car here. I got the app up and running. Right now we're running on the Predator sound. So let's get it fired up and I'll show you what it sounds like when I turn on Predator. Pretty cool. All right, now as we go through this here, watch the app. You can see how the app is constantly going to be either adding sound one direction or the other in that top corner there on the sliders here. So as I slow down, it makes one sound, and as I accelerate, it makes a different sound. And again, this is all just Predator. So let's just drive for a bit without me yapping my head off, and you guys can hear what it sounds like. So you certainly hear a lot more fluctuation in sound as you accelerate or decelerate. Let's go to a different one. Got a whole list here of them. Let's go to Plasma Pulse. This one's called Asteroid Scatter, so here's accelerating. Then here's hitting the brake. This one's called Amplified Gravity. So here's accelerating. Brake. This is Dimensional Shift. Now, a couple things I'll point out here at the light. The app is, first of all, it's super cool to look at. You got an on-off switch here. You can control the sounds with the over arrows there. Then you got a slide volume right here to control the sound. As you can see, the volume on mine is all the way down, and that is because if I turned it up at all, it would blow out my mic, which is in the front with the speaker. So right now, no one could probably hear this outside because it's almost all the way down, but this is how you guys are going to be able to hear it. If I turned up the mic really loud, it would, of course, ruin my microphone. So we're not going to do that. But it is very loud outside. You can completely control how loud it is. And you've got two different types of controls on that volume. You've got a knob, as we talked about earlier, on the actual speaker itself. And then this is the fine tuning inside the cab. So what I've got it right now at is I've got it turned so that the knob on the speaker is halfway on, and then I have this turned all the way down. So there's a lot of room for volume on that speaker. Let's just see if some people can notice. So I can hear that really loud right now outside of the cab. Listen on my mic. It's really hard to capture the sound itself of the actual car when you're inside of it because you're hearing a lot of road noise, but you certainly have enough volume outside to hear it. It's just kind of one of those things. So another thing I'll point out is down here you see, I don't know what they call this, but it's at 600 right now. That's a level. So what you can do is as you're driving, you put more miles on it, you can unlock other sounds. So if you go up here into the menu of all your different sounds and you scroll down to the bottom, you can see down here there's already 10 or so sounds that you can record, which is pretty cool. You can certainly hear it inside of the cab, like you can hear it. The question though with all the road noises is how much can other people actually hear it? And that's going to all depend on how loud you want to crank it, because you certainly have the volume controls to make it very loud outside. I mean, in the cab here, I can certainly hear it. I don't know what other people can, and probably in their cars, they couldn't hear it. You'd probably have to really crank it up, but it's definitely loud enough for me to hear. All right, so here's the deal. I've had it now in my car for going on a week and a half, and I put a lot of miles on it. I have a lot of different thoughts. First of all, it's a really cool idea. And I mean, it's a cool idea in the way that if you want to have some fun with your car, add some excitement to it, make people laugh, make yourself laugh, it's a kind of a neat thing to have. At the end of the day, it's a speaker system. What's really making it stand out is the app. The app's what gives it the emotion and the gyro effect of going faster and slower and changing all the sounds. But here's kind of my final thoughts on this. I wish that there were more, I don't know, normal sounds. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I would love to make my car sound like galloping horses, or to make it sound like a big Ford diesel or a dump truck or a race car, something that people would recognize. What I found over the week and a half driving was that people hear a noise, but the noise is so subtle, and when it mixes with the road noise of the tires, when it mixes with the road noise of other people driving and their exhaust system, it's almost impossible to distinguish what they're actually hearing. So where it sounds really cool to you in the car, outside it just sounds like a bunch more noise. No one really knows what's going on. And you can make it loud, you can certainly make it loud, but the downside to that is that you then have to hear it all the time. So if you don't want to just drive around with some music playing, for example, in your car, then fine. You can turn it up and you can listen to it, and it's fun, for sure. But if you want to just sort of listen to music yourself but have a different noise for your car going around, it's not going to be loud enough for other people to hear at that volume. Also, I noticed that the road types make a big difference. If you're on brand new, fresh paved asphalt, yeah, you can hear it a lot better versus driving on, more normal roads, gravel roads. Older asphalt, concrete roads make a lot more noise, so you have to turn the volume up a lot more to hear it as well. And then again, that same subtle, noise that it makes is again mixed in with the road noise of your car. No one knows what that sound is, and you don't really know. Actually, it just kind of sounds like maybe there's an electric car that has some electrical issues. There were a few that did stand out, but I also felt like most of them, probably 80% of the different sounds you can choose, all kind of sound the same. There's just a couple that did stand out a little bit different. I found the ones that had a lot higher tones, you could actually hear a lot better out there, and I did have some people turn their head, but again, I don't know if they were hearing more of a space rocket sound or if they were hearing nothing or just a weird whine noise from an electric car. But you can imagine if a Tesla drove by sounding like a great big old burly diesel, now that would be funny. That would actually be cool. So my vote on this is a good idea. I think it's fun. I don't know that it's worth paying $600-700 for it yet. I think it has potential to have that value as more of it increases, more sounds come out, but they've got to figure out a way to make the sounds more distinct outside of your car. Now, obviously in places like parking lots and places where you're going really slow, it obviously works a lot better. There's a lot less road noise. People are actually out of their cars. You can hear it better. So if you want to kind of go and have some fun in a parking lot, I mean, that works. But 35, 45 miles an hour, which kind of seems where it'd be the fun sweet spot for it, it's pretty hard to hear unless you've got it cranked it really loud, which again means you're hearing it really loud. And even still at that, and we've put microphones on other cars, and I've done tests where cars have driven past me. Take a look at this here in my driveway. You can tell you just can't hear it. And if you do, you don't know what you're hearing. And I know that the thought is that you're supposed to hear, hey, there comes a cool sounding electric car, but you hear a noise, road noise, other people's cars noise, exhaust systems from other cars. Tie that all together, it sounds like a big soup of noise. So I'm curious to see what the future holds for this. I wonder if they're going to advance the sounds to make them a lot more distinct outside of your car so they actually can be. Again, I do think it's a fun idea. I think there probably is a market for this in some way, but I think the price needs to come down, and I think the sounds need to become a lot more interesting and have much bigger differences between them and have it make a sound where it's like that's a normal sound I'm used to hearing, but just not from an electric car. Anyway, if you guys want to check this company out, I'll put the information down below in the description. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on all of this, so please let's have a discussion down below in the comments. Let me know everything you feel about it. What do you think about the price? What do you think about the idea, the concept, all of that? And love to hear your thoughts down below.